work permit and the 30% tax withholding and all that stuff. It just becomes,
Yeah,
it's very hard to make money. It's a huge risk and a big pain in the ass, paperwork-wise.
and that's really unfair too. That we do that in the U.S. because there's so many great bands, and from you guys in Canada, and and so many bands from Europe, don't even have a chance to come over, and it's not good for the fans. Even though it's not the band's fault.
I don't even think it's good on like a financial level. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Bands that come into the country if they're paying their income tax like they're supposed to and things like that, right? It's a benefit, I would think, to the U.S., right? Which I think is the bottom line. That's why they should let people in. It makes sense. It benefits Americans.
I agree. And I would love to see you guys.
What happens is you get some bureaucracies in government, and they just become, you know what I mean? Like they make a rule, right. So then they got to have a committee to enforce the rule, and then they got to have a committee to make sure the committees and
right.
And just it's like an endless succession of public servants.
Right.
And that's what it's getting to be like when you go for the U.S. work permit. It's just it's so incredibly full of red tape. It's incredible.
It is, and it wasn't. What was it like back in the '80s? Like when you guys, there was a lot of bands, European bands in Canada.
I handled it, so I don't know. Our office handled it, but I don't think it was near as strict as it is now. But really, you could simplify it. They really only care about you paying your taxes and that you're not a criminal, right? So,
right.
When they have nexus at the border, you know what I mean by that, so people can go through without having to be checked out every time.
Right.
You go and get pre-checked, and then you get a card or something. You pay for it.
Right.
I don't know. I can have something like that for musicians, and just you submit your contract. You pay the tax when you come back or something. I don't know.
Right.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Like if you get caught, right. You never get back in. Something like that.
Right. I totally agree with you.
Well, I don't know. Like to me, right? I always say to the union, to political people I talk to, I go, look, if I'm not a terrorist this week, why would I do one next week? If you're down there with a work permit, for instance, and say I get a date next week, suddenly comes up offered to me, I can't take it. Got to go through the whole application process all over again. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Why?
Right. Yeah, they do everything. Everything that we do is ass backwards. The best way to put it.
But anyway, the band has got lots up this year. We're doing a Helix movie based on my movies from over the years.
Awesome.
We're doing a solo album in May with Gavin Brown, who's one of the top producers in Canada. He's worked with the Trues, Tragically Hip, Bare Naked Ladies.
Nice.
Big Sugar. So I'm excited about that. We have dates coming up. We're going back to Sweden in June, playing Sweden Rock.
Yeah, that's.
What would you like to talk
about? First off, I want to say that it's an honor to speak to you, and I've been a big fan for a lot of years.
Well, thank you.
And that's I was. I know. I wanted to ask you about what was going on with the band right now. In hearing what you were saying right there. I mean, what are your guys' plan as far as like you said the the new album and everything? When's that going to be released? When you're looking to get that out?
Well, Helix isn't going to be releasing a new album for a while. I've taken a different approach to the Helix material, whereas we used to release CDs and have one single. Now we're releasing one song at a time through Facebook, YouTube, to Canadian radio, maybe U.S. radio, by DMDS, which is the digital system that takes the song to the program directors at the stations.
Right.
Whereas this solo album I'm doing came about an entirely different way, and it's going to be actually like a CD release with two original songs on it actually, and the rest is going to be cover songs.
Oh,
so
cool.
That's a completely different approach to that album, and not really anything to do with Helix, except that Daryl's playing bass for me on the tracks. But so that's happening. The Helix movie came about guy approached me from Stratford, Ontario, that works for CBC and CTV, and mostly in voiceovers, but he knows people in the medium. And he knows that I have films that I've taken from, 1976 on.
Oh, nice.
And so we're going to base the movie around the snippets of film I have, and I have some great footage. I have, the band with Alice Cooper, the band with just all sorts of people, Ron Williams, when we did the Give Me Good Lovin' video.
Oh, cool.
The whole Ian Gillan tour in 1989. So, we're going to get the best piece of film, and then we're going to base questions on those pieces of films and pose them to the different members of the band from those different periods of the band. So that's basically the basis of the movie.
That's really
so
cool.
That's happening, and so, and the dates. I'm actually flying back to London, Ontario next week, and we're playing in my hometown of London, and then in May we're out in Edmonton, Alberta, at the casino. We start the solo album the next day in Toronto.
Okay.
And that's myself, Sean Kelly, Gavin Browns, who is producing, is also playing drums. He's an excellent drummer. Matt Wellinger is playing keyboards. And we're going to go and do the album in 1 week. And then in June we're over in Sweden. July we're out west again in Lloydminster, Alberta.
Nice.
And then in August we're out in British Columbia in the Okanagan Valley with Honeymoon Suite.
Oh, nice.
And Rough Trade. And then the next weekend we're with Randy Bachman in North Vancouver and Honeymoon Suite again. And then the very next day with Kenny Shields and Streetheart and Queen City Kids in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. So I think we got one date way into October with Lee Aaron up in Brampton, Ontario with the Rose Theatre as well. And then I'm back down here in Florida again.
That's a lot of running around, but that's that's good that you're getting to play the gigs and keeping a name out there and staying busy, because it's.
I'm finding that we're busier than ever, and the situation in the music industry is totally different nowadays because it's mostly one-off concerts. Like we'll fly out to Alberta for just one casino date.
Right.
But the whole week, that'll consume a whole weekend because you got to fly out, say, on the Friday night, play Saturday, fly back Sunday. A lot of the guys have other jobs or other gigs with other bands, so
Right.
We play only a couple times a month, and in between we're recording, we're writing songs, we're doing all the other stuff. So it's actually less playing, but more fun, and the gigs are farther apart. Really, they're all over the world, so it's
Right.
pretty exciting from that standpoint.
So you get a little more time to do the the publicity and get the word out there.
That's right, and pursue other projects we're doing. Like I know that Daryl's doing an Irish album. He's from Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Nice.
And Fritz is completely renovating his house in Brantford. Caleb actually is a foreman on a major construction site. He oversees projects worth millions and millions of dollars. So, when he comes out, he usually works all week long with a hard hat on, and then
Right.
on the weekends, he's playing guitar for us. He calls himself a guitar-pender.
Right.
So,
I was gonna say, yeah, if that isn't hard rock, what is, huh?
yeah. So, it's a different situation nowadays. There is no bar circuit, and there's not really places to play during the week. Although I will say this: in Sweden, Rock is Wednesday. The Lloydminster Fair, which we're playing in July out west, is on Thursday.
Right.
The one in Kelowna is a Sunday gig. The one in Saskatoon is a Sunday gig. And I think the one up with Lee Aaron is a Thursday night gig. So they are kind of weird nights. But nowadays, there's nobody that really runs Monday to Wednesday, especially. Occasionally, you get those Thursday gigs, and occasionally there's ones that fall on Sunday.
Right.
Usually festivals during the summer, and up to that thing too, outside the festival season, which usually begins around June till late September. Outside of that, it's mostly casino dates because festivals are over by that point.
Right.
So so you try to pick them off, and it's still early in the season for us. You know, we hope to be working every weekend as we approach. You know, our agent just keeps working on it, trying to get dates across the country. This year in Canada looks really good for us because it's the 150th anniversary of the country and the 150th anniversary of the province of Ontario, which is where we're from. So,
right.
I mean, the government doling out lots of government money, taxpayers' money to buy bands like us to go play at fairs and stuff. So
that's really cool. That's really cool. And what kind of crowds do you get like at the festivals? I know, you know, in Europe and, you know, like you said, you know, Sweden, and it's still huge out there, you know, compared to what we have here anymore.
Well, you know, when we go in Western Canada, for instance, right, they were playing the Central Casino in July. That room is probably about 500-seater.
Nice.
So we'll sell out that room with kick acts. The room in Regina, we just played about 700-seater, and they're beautiful soft seat halls too.
Right.
You know, where you sit on the table. It's not like standing room only type of deal that you used to have in clubs and never had. It's like, you know, you're sitting in a nice environment at a table and you're watching the show. And acoustically, you know, the room's set up good. They got great sound systems, light systems, great sight lines. You know, top notch tech people working for you. It's just it's a totally different situation. It's actually helped in the resurgence of this type of music because,
right,
you know, during the 80s, bands like Helix, Check-Ax, Lear, and you know, American bands like I don't know, Keel, Motley Crue, Rat, all those bands. We were concert bands, and then, you know, when music turned in the 90s, went to grunge, and for a lot of years, those recording acts that were concert acts were forced into the bars on inferior light systems, inferior PAs,
right,
and, you know, shitty bars or shitty sight lines, and it just made the bands look terrible. And
right.
but nowadays they're back on those stages with the proper technical gear and
right.
the proper technical people up front because, you know, now we got the money, we can afford those proper technical people. Like when you carry a sound man alone, like you're looking at over $1,000 a night by the time you're paying for flights and everything else, right? So
right.
you got to make that on the other end.
And it's good. It's good to see, you know, that you're still out there kicking it too. I mean, you know, with the band, you know, with all the.
Well, you know, we got into it for the right reason, which was a love of music, the love of performing, recording, writing songs.
Right.
And if you continue doing that and don't lose sight of the reason you're there in the first place, I think that you can continue on. Like when I do albums and I write original material and I put it out, I don't really think about making money as much as just creating that and trying to be good at what I do, my craft.
Right.
And I think if you're good at your craft, then money will just automatically follow because you're good at what you do.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
I think you got to get the right sequence there. You put out something quality, and then people pay for it. You don't go looking for the money and then hope that the quality follows. My point.
Right. And that's like you said, that's the reason you got into the business, and that's the reason that you do what you do. I mean, you got to love what you do, and what you, if you love it, it's a better product. It's easier for you to do things, and it's easier to be creative as well.
Yeah, and I still enjoy what I do, and I still make a pretty good buck doing it. So why not?
Right.
I don't think I could just do this job. It's too damn hard if I was just going out there and doing what I call the milk run, and that is the same songs over and over and over and just never ever putting out anything fresh or new.
Right.
I think that would bore me to tears. And I still, I'm down here in Florida where we spend our winters, like I said, but I'm set up down here. I'm editing films every day. I'm working on the Helix website. I'm advancing gigs. I'm talking to my agent. I'm still doing the same band things I have for the last 40 years.
Right.
Working the band, working the image, trying to get out there and just, it's like fishing. You throw your line out 100 times, and once or twice you catch a fish.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, Exactly.
Well, it's true, every day I get on the computer, I'm looking for dates, I'm looking for opportunities, let's say, for the band, and 99% of the time, you think you're going somewhere, doesn't pan out, but you still have to follow it to its conclusion to see whether or not it's going to work out, and occasionally it does, and it's from the honest of places, but it always happens when you're moving forward. It never happens when you're sitting on the couch picking your nose.
Yeah, that's it. That's part of it, working hard.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I wanted to. One of the things I wanted to tell you is, I always thought what was great about you as a vocalist is you were able to do like the heavier stuff, like Rock You, for example, and get the screams and everything. But I remember, like when I heard Deep Cuts the Knife, and I had to honestly say, that is, to me, Brian, one of the best power ballads that's ever been, in this genre of music. I mean, it's just something to where, you see doing something like Rock You, and some of the fans see that. But then they also see somebody that, man, this guy could really wail.
Well, that's one of the hardest songs I sang when it was first brought to me. It was written by Paul and Bob Halligan down in New York City, and they brought it back to Canada, and ironically we were working down on Brideup Street in Kitchener, Ontario with Alda Nova, and Alda Nova was trying to really push this song on us that he'd written called Heart of Stone.
Okay.
And I remember we listened to the demo Paul had made with Bob Halligan of Deep Cuts the Knife out in one of the vehicles. We put a cassette tape in at that time, and
right.
He thought it was a great song, and Alden went, "The song's okay, but mine's better, right?"
Right.
And I took my manager aside and said, "Look, Paul's song is way better than that other song, right? We're doing it."
Right.
And the song became a huge hit for us in the United States. Broke what they called back then double breaker status, which meant that 2/3 of all the radio stations in our genre of music were playing that song in the United States.
Right.
And Canada did very well too, got airplay right across the country. But it's, it wasn't written by a singer, so it's very difficult for me as a singer to sing because it goes from very low notes to like suddenly the highest notes in my register.
Right.
Around an A or something, right? So jumps back and forth all over the place, but I think after about 30 years I almost got it mastered, so.
Right. What's when you go out and play? I know everybody always asks for the the Helix songs and everything. What's the most requested Helix song that you get, like a lot of demand for?
Oh, it varies. Sometimes people want to hear stuff we haven't done for years, like Ride the Rocket. Other guys want to hear Six Strings, Nine Lives. We try to play the basic, the hits, because we feel that that's what the fans want to hear when they come out.
Right.
But we change it up. We're in London coming up next week. We're going to be putting Feel the Fire and Never Want to Lose You back into the set.
Nice.
One was from the Walking the Razor's Edge album, Feel the Fire.
Right.
And Six Strings, I think, was from, I guess they're both from that album.
Yep.
And we'll put them back in the set, and we might only play them a couple nights and take them back out and say something else. And we're constantly playing around with the set. And I want to get to the point where, musically it's very tight, but on the other hand, you don't want to get it so you're playing it so many times that you're becoming robotic and just kind of going through the motions on it, because it looks tired to people up front when you do that. So we keep the main hits, but we switch it up with stuff around it, either brand new material or stuff from the past, like I said, that we haven't played for a few years. I was looking into like some of the band's history, and I was really surprised. 1974, you guys were formed. I mean, that's you got to hit the the heyday back then in the 70s, and you could see the the influences from that era into what you guys did through the 80s and everything, even into now. Was that like a were you guys influenced a lot by the 70s music? When you first started out. Oh, for sure we were. And, the bands we started off on, like Stuff Wolf, Deep Purple, and that was from that era. Right.
And that's what a lot of the guys that I talked to, Deep Purple, and I was talking to David Reese.
Sorry, you're cutting out here on me a little bit here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was Is that okay, Brian?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. You can still cut me out a little bit of it.
And let me see if I could get it a little bit better. How about that?
I should be going here a little bit too, right? Not quite a bit.
Okay, how about now?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just sometimes it cuts out because I got a Canadian phone down in Florida.
And I never know even here too. When I'm up in, I got an office up inside the house, and sometimes it cuts out, so you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes I get echo. You never know on that. Okay. What I was saying, was a lot of the guys, have Deep Purple as an influence, and it's really amazing, how that band, transcended like all the the '80s hard rock bands, and even up and through now.
Pardon? Hello? Hello?
You there, Brian?
Yeah, you cut out for a second.
Okay, I'm gonna hold it back here. I'll see if it works a little bit better.
I should get going pretty soon anyway. I
Okay.
My wife was only going to do 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I appreciate the time, and it's great to talk to you, and I'll get the word out
How
about
old are you?
what's that?
How old are you?
47.
Oh, you're just a pup.
Yep.
I'm 61. I'll be 62 pretty soon.
Hey, you know what? You're as young as your heart is, and how you feel, and that's you still sound great.
Try to fast.
Yeah, you still sound great though, man.
Thanks. Well, you know what? Very early in my career, I was taught bel canto by a guy named Eduardo Johnson.
Yeah.
And that's what I teach nowadays. And I'm probably one of the last people in the world to teach it. And my voice today is better than it was when I was 20 years old. So.
Yeah, that's great.
Except for my falsetto. I don't know why my falsetto. I had a doctor operate on me. I think he screwed something up. But other than that, my voice is stronger than ever.
You still sound great. I hope one of these days that the U.S. will wake up and get bands like you guys back, because I'd love to see. I really would.
Anyway, I should let you go here. I got to phone my agent, right? That's why I got to get off the phone here. I got to advance this gig, and they're not getting back to me.
No problem. All right, Brian. You
you take care. Very nice talking to you. Best of luck.
You too. Good luck on the tour, and good luck with everything that you're doing, man. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.